everybody. Welcome to the Abomination Goddess podcast. I am here with Casie Halseth. She is the author of Abomination Born. It is a fictional portrayal of her real life experiences with the mystical realms. Her action packed books, plural, are full of lessons, insights, and calls for other Abomination Born folks in the world to start connecting, which is what we like to do with our podcast. She is an award winning public speaker, and I think that you will find by watching this podcast and by reading her books that she just effortlessly draws her audiences into the world, into her worlds, both in her book and on the stage. Welcome, Casie. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Yay. And your background is beautiful.
Thank
Book number
you.
2
Thank
is on
you.
display. Awesome. All right. And my name is Ashley Kim. I am the author of Villain Goddess. It is a book that I wrote to help women on their journey to set boundaries, build confidence, and to heal themselves. It is a very honest and open look at what I went through and the tools that I used to survive my villain era. I went through my journey alone, and I wrote this book so that you wouldn't have to go it alone. So I will be right beside you on this roller coaster, screaming my head off with you. Welcome, everybody. Yay! My
Yay.
favorite part of the week. Awesome. Okay,
Mine
we
too.
yes. We start our podcast every week with show and tell. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen and we are going to jump in. Awesome. Okay. Let's see here. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Oh, you can go first.
Okay. I have three things. One of them is I have been kind of doing research on glamour magic and color magic. Find both concepts to be so fascinating. And so my daughter and I went to TJ Maxx and we're just looking through the color palettes and I found this one. So I have been wearing blues and golds together on my eyes and have been having fun with it. I feel like as a 44-year-old woman, that's probably not the norm, and I don't care because I love it and I'm having fun.
I love
So I
that.
just wanted to show my very messy makeup palette here, but it has been so fun experimenting with just playing with color and honestly remembering that I really don't have to follow the rules out there, which has been good for me, good for my soul. So I had to share my makeup palette. And
On
I
that
mean,
on
it,
that same thing, before you move off that picture, when I saw this picture, I thought right away of the breastplate that the priests used to wear before they would go in to see the Ark of the Covenant. They had the stones. It was 12 stones, just like that. It varies. Several different resources will say what the stones were, and nobody seems to agree on what they were because in the old days they used to call stones by different names than they do
Mhm.
today. But you have all these different colors and they're organized that way. And just looking at that is like a sacred pattern of
Ooh,
protection. And when we put on
yeah.
our makeup, we're preparing ourselves for the day. And it's like the priests would put on the breastplate to prepare them before they would go into, it was a protection against
Yeah.
the possibility of being zapped by the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, this is like my protection. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that is so cool. That is fascinating too. I don't know that much about the Ark of the Covenant or the priest going in there, so that was a really cool little
Oh,
history
yes.
lesson.
The priests always had to have a rope tied around their ankle, and they would go in to see the Ark of the Covenant, and they would do whatever they had to do while they were in there. And in case they were killed,
Oh,
they were
yeah.
dragged out by the
Yeah,
rope.
someone could pull him out. Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Oh, that is so fascinating. I would like to learn more about that. I love that. I mean, not, the getting killed, but just learning more about that in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so cool. Okay, so the second thing I have is I liked this little eye. I don't even remember where I got this, but I have so much jewelry or barrettes with so much symbolism behind them,
Really?
and I kind of forgot about them. And I was digging through this past weekend, and I was like, I'm going to start wearing these again because I do
Yeah.
like wearing them. And so this one, just because I'm a weirdo, I have my hair in a bun and I put it in the very back above my hair just so anyone behind me would see it. And maybe think,
Yeah,
think twice before you send energy my way. But yeah, I just think the eye is beautiful, and I have eyes, I have snakes, I have so many things. And I'm gonna start wearing them more and just appreciating that I have them. I don't feel like I necessarily need to have like this thesis written up on the reasons why I choose something. And I think that's one of the things I'm learning about my intuition is that I don't need to be able to explain it to somebody, with logic. I just need to go with it and trust myself. So today I'm wearing an eye.
I love that. And I love what the mat that you have it on.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that is my mouse pad, and it is in the shape of the moon.
Oh, wow. It is really
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it. My 6-year-old keeps trying to steal it from me, and she doesn't even have a mouse. She just wants the moon.
And that having like an eye like that for
Mhm.
something to wear as an ornament in your hair is just genius.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm loving it. Okay. And so then the last thing that I had on the moon mouse pad are just my two best friends right now, my crystal quartz and my amethyst. The And I think it was a few weeks ago I said that the crystal quartz had spoken to me, and that was the first time I've gotten anything like that. And so the amethyst has too. And so I've just been kind of carrying my best friends around, and they sit with me at my desk, and then I put them on my nightstand. And someday I'll do more with them and learn more from them. But as of right now, we're just kind of hanging out and having fun together. So I just had to
Isn't
show off
that
my.
something? They do become friends for life. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my
they
gosh.
do. Yes, yeah, they
Yes,
do. And every time I pick them up, they're like, "Oh, hey!" It's
yes,
like
yes,
I would love to be greeted like that every day. And then I thought, well, I will be if I pick them up and listen to them.
yes, yes.
So, yeah.
I love stones because they don't lie.
No. Yeah,
They've
they do
never
not lie.
ever lied. They'll tell you the hard truth about something,
Mhm.
but I'd much rather have the hard truth than, you know, having
Definitely.
them give me some kind of false story.
Exactly. Definitely. Yeah, hard truths are still a compass that we use to navigate, and we definitely need that.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
those are mine.
Well, let's go to the drum first.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Tell us about this.
We were at the metaphysical event in Manhattan, Kansas, a couple weekends ago, and Al had wanted to buy me a drum. And you know how you get that feeling, no, not this drum, not this drum, so I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want that drum. It was a wonderful drum, handmade, everything was great about it. So I'm sure there's a drum out there for me, but in the meantime, I just went on Amazon and I just got a set of drums for like $21. I got like four El Cheapo drums, and
Yeah.
I am absolutely enjoying them. They're synthetic. It's not real, but there is something about the music that comes from the beat on the drum. It's
Yep.
just, I write about it in my stories too, how we were out in the desert with this girl who was a drummer for the USO. She would go
Mm.
to the different troops in Vietnam, and she would play, and she'd gone all over the world actually. And from a Cambodian shaman, she learned a technique of licking her thumb or getting her thumb wet and then dragging it around the surface of the drum, kind
Mm.
of make it this really odd sound that just, as soon as she started doing that, I was out of my body, and it was
Wow.
it was amazing. And then she would tap it, and she would drag her thumb and then tap it. So this is something I'm going to try with this. It's synthetic, but I don't know if it'll work with
Yeah.
synthetic. But of
Yeah.
course, she was a master drummer, but she had this fabulous drum that she'd gotten in Cambodia, and oh, you know that that was some. I had no idea about the power of the drum until that day.
Mhm. Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me know how it goes with the one that you bought. Oh, that is so neat.
yeah.
Um, when my 6-year-old was getting ready to have the scary surgery a couple months ago, um, I had did a meditation to find like an ancestral kind of a song to sing, kind of use it as a prayer because we were so stressed. And so I just started like humming or whatever. But one of the things that I was surprised about is that part of it sounded like a drum. And and I felt like it was my daughter's ancestors, which are from more of that Laos area, which is by Cambodia. So I just think that's interesting that that the lady that you know picked up some stuff there too, because I wouldn't associate drumming with that culture necessarily. But yeah, that's what I got out of it. So anyway, yeah, I love this.
And when we were in Hawaii, we were with some shamans in Hawaii, and they used the gourd, these great big huge gourds. And don't you know where they got their gourds from was from Kansas.
What? Really?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow.
They would import these giant gourds from Kansas, and they treated them like they were alive, which of course they are, and they were beings, and they would do the same thing. They would uh, get their thumb wet and drag it on it as well. And I thought, okay, uh,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this is something. This is
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I
again,
love that.
immediately I was out of my body and I could see all kinds of stuff just
Hmm.
immediately as soon as those
Oh my
the
gosh.
shamans started to use their gourds.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder what it is about those Kansas gourds.
Yeah, they were great. Yeah, and we were growing gourds at the time also, and they were so impressed that we had gourds but
Really?
none of them were as big as that.
Yeah.
Um, apparently,
Wow.
apparently, some people in Kansas really know how to raise
A
these
good
giant
gourd.
gourds.
Right. Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah, it
That is so
is.
cool. And I didn't know that people used gourds for drumming, you know? I think that is
Oh
so
yes,
neat.
yes, yeah. And there's a way that they hold it, and they've got a rope around the neck of it. And same with the drum. You the way you hold it is really important. Um, yeah,
Wow. Okay. Ooh, I get goosebumps talking about them.
yeah. The island people, or the people down there in that part of the world,
Hmm.
they appreciate that so much.
Hmm.
Okay, then
Yeah.
let's go to my seven pointed star. I've got it on.
You do? Oh, it is so
Yes,
cool. All
I
right.
got my seven
Let me
pointed
zoom in
star
a little
on.
here. Okay. Oh, wow.
I thought that I could just touch base again why it's so important. For one thing, when we were little, and then older too, Grandma had talked about the seven pointed star, and that we followed the seven pointed star. We were that represented for us the seven sisters, the Pleiadians. She didn't call it the Pleiadians because she was Hungarian. She didn't know the American words for almost anything.
Yeah.
And but these were the seven sisters, and she was the one who said that um, when she came to the United States, her great aunt, who was the woman that lived in the woods, that everybody went to for healing and everything. So when her aunt had told her that you're coming to the United States, the Native Americans there would be your cousins because they follow the seven pointed star and the seven sisters.
Hmm.
Our people were the daughter of one of the sisters, the daughters of one of the sisters, and
Hmm.
they were daughters of the other sisters. And it turns out that it's the Cherokee, and then maybe somebody else, another tribe too, is also matriarchal and daughters of the seven sisters. But I was doing some research on the internet, and I came across this one. Maybe you can go to this one, the one with the little there's a little
Little
uh,
symbol?
yeah, that one. It says it represents also the elven star, also known as the fairy star. Symbolizes connection to the fae, the elven realm's protective qualities, and the number seven's magical and spiritual significance. And Grandma would talk about the how it was like a doorway. When you go to the seven pointed star, you're connecting with our sister, you know,
Oh,
our
yeah.
sister. And
Yeah.
she helps you to know that all things are alive. And I've got a few more pages on there that I just loaded you up. I had to.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. No, I loved it.
okay,
Let's
go to
see here.
another one. Um,
Oh, here, this one has something highlighted. Let's look at this one.
okay, so this is talking about the chamois people. All right, well, we were, when you ask grandma what were we called in Hungary, and from way back, you got to know the grandma's people lived in the same house since 500 AD. We know for sure because that's their cob house is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And the chamois people were what they were called, and they were the ones that everybody would go to for healing and to know, and the seers, they would tell when something bad was going to happen or whatever. Well, it turns out that we know that the the people in Hungary at that time, way back, they uh, they split, and many of them uh, went north. They went to Finland and Norway, and some Sweden, but they went to the way north, and they held the same traditions, except instead of being matriarchal, they were patriarchal, and so they are the Sami people, Sami people, and we were the Shami people, and
Oh,
we were matriarchal. So the matriarchal stayed behind, and the patriarchal shamans
yeah.
went north.
Oh,
And
wow.
I found this. They're traditionally encompassed a nature focused shamanistic belief system with a pantheon of natural spirits and deities. And that's the same with the matriarchal world. We would talk to the trees, we talk to the earth, we talk
Yeah.
to a leaf. Remember, I've said that grandma would put a leaf up to her cheek, and the the plant would talk to her. She was real sensitive about things, way more than I am, and
Mhm.
it would tell her what it was for, because she didn't know what an American name for it was, but she would
Yeah.
know by putting it up.
Yeah. She would know its purpose. That is so cool.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And you can go
Oh,
to the next one, or any of
oh,
them, really.
yeah. What's this one?
I've got so many up here.
I know. I
Let's
love it.
see.
Oh, the
Okay.
symbiote. I can't talk today. Symbolic meanings of the elven star.
Oh, yeah, right. Uh, right down here, the elements. It says signifying the magical elements: earth, air, fire, water, light, life, and magic. Those are some of the
Oh,
reasons why. There's several people um, throughout history have used the seven pointed star. And
yeah.
also, grandma would say that it had to do with the four directions: above, below, and then within.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And and also the seven pointed star is the portal. Instead of seeing a portal that's a circle and that you step through this circle, if you could imagine a seven pointed star or even draw a seven pointed star, it becomes a portal for if you're doing a
Oh,
meditation. And
yeah.
when you're drawing the seven pointed star, it's easiest if you draw it starting at the top, a Sunday, and then you come down to Monday, and then you go across Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you go like that, and then until you get it right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So you count
Oh, that is
you
so
count,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
hmm yeah,
Oh, wow. Oh, so many
and
things
and
that go
the,
together, huh?
yeah, when we were little, grandma used to have us play these string games. We'd put her string between our fingers, and then she would do all kinds of things and move the
Yeah.
strings around. And there was one that represented the seven pointed star, but I can't do it. I couldn't do it when I was little even. It was, and she'd try to show me over and over and over again how to do these
Yeah.
things, but I'm dyslexic. I she
Yeah.
realized I'm good for nothing when it comes to some things, and that was one
That's
of
not how
them. I
your
wasn't
brain
very
wants to
good,
operate.
not at all. But she could get it to look like the seven pointed star. You'd have a
Yeah.
star in the center with
Yeah.
with
Oh, fun.
the strings.
Yeah. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I want to go draw one.
Yeah. Now let's see. Oh, this is
So
more
sorry.
about the the um,
Oh.
let's see.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
sorry. I opened them out of order, didn't I?
no, that's fine. The Shami people have a belief system that's called animistic, and that's
Mhm.
definitely what I am, is
Yep.
animistic, and that's seeing souls in animals, plants, and even natural features like lakes and sacred stones. These spirits and deities govern various aspects of life and nature, from the sun and thunder to the forest spirits. And I don't call them souls. I call it personalities. Um,
Mhm.
uh, Probably because, again, I had grandma who was calling things by different things, you know. So
Mhm.
for me, it was their personality. It's just who they are,
Yeah.
and that's why
Right.
you've got your crystal and you've got your amethyst, and each one has a totally different personality.
Yes. Yes, they do. Yeah. It is. It's a whole different personality. And I think too, I feel like with your background and what you've been through is you do have a different meaning for soul and personality, So I feel like
Hmm.
it's probably easier to explain soul to people, who haven't gone through everything that you've gone through. So I can see, yeah, why you would call it personality instead. That that
It's the
differentiator
Yeah,
is
it's their
definitely there.
uniqueness, the thing that
Yes,
makes
yeah.
them that. What's the difference between this crystal and this crystal? You know,
Hmm.
each one
Yeah.
is different. They have
Yeah.
a family because they have a vibration and they have an order. So they're singing a song, but just like in a choir, everybody's singing, maybe they could all be singing the same tone, but
Hmm.
each one of them sings it with their own voice. And so
Yeah.
that's their personality, that's who they are, that's their
Yeah.
uniqueness. So
Yep.
maybe we don't have to call it personality, we could call it uniqueness.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, I mean, they are different. After that one crystal quartz was talking to me, I went and picked up a different one and didn't get much and came back and picked up the other one again. It was almost like it was like wagging its little tail, like,
Yeah,
hey.
yes, yes, they do. Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
So I was like, okay, well, it's definitely, like that's who I'm bonding with.
Okay, you can go on. Oh, and this one also, it said a sacred and essential tool for the Noadi, Noadi people, that's what they call their shamans,
Mhm.
is the drum. And I thought that was really
Yeah.
good.
Yep. Oh, that is so
And
cool.
grandma didn't use but she didn't use the drum. She would use music. She'd always put on the Hungarian gypsy music. You know, well,
Yeah.
she did not call it gypsy music because, according to her, they were there before the gypsies came in, and they were the ones who taught the gypsies that music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yep.
they're a much older people,
Yep.
and so
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, that history is just amazing to me. I love it so much.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. Oh, and the other people in the United States, we know that the Cherokee people have the seven
Hmm.
pointed star. They even use it on their badge for the Cherokee
Hmm.
Nation, and it represents the seven original clans. Oh, you can move it back up again.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. The clans are the Bird, the Long Hair Clan, the Paint Clan, the Deer Clan, the Wolf Clan, the Blue Clan, and the Wild Potato Clan. And these are the different clans.
Yeah.
And also, um, someone of Cherokee ancestry had said to me that they also followed the four directions as well as the above, the below, and the within.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah. And um, I was trying to explain to someone the other day, and this probably sounds like ignorant to try to explain it, but when they were talking about like spirituality and religion and I was trying to explain like there are these like knowings and teachings from a long time ago that these people have, like what your grandma had and those ancestors, like the gypsies have them now. And some people don't even think that, wait, well, who taught them? Like they don't think that far back. And same with like the Native Americans, like, um, but yeah, and just to see the commonalities between them, it just makes me feel good. It just makes me feel like that's the truth. That's the real truth. When you can pick up stuff from different areas around the entire world, and they have those same commonalities.
Right.
Yeah.
And, where do they learn these things is just like you were talking to your stones. Well, they learned it from the stones and the trees and the mushrooms, uh, eh, the lake. Those those beings are where we get our information from. And then we find out that somebody else knows about it too. Well, it shouldn't surprise us. They're getting it from the same.
Right. Yes, exactly. And for me, being somebody where I do come from a background with like religious trauma and things like that, I need something that I can trust. And for me, that is what I trust. It is the teachings or the learnings that are around the world that everyone has
Right,
somehow come up with.
right.
And like you said, they did not just somehow come up with it. It is from the rocks, the trees, the land,
That's right.
but they're the same or they're very similar. And yeah, to me, I'm like, okay, well, that's my guidance then. That's what I need.
I think you can
Anything
go
else
on.
on this?
I don't know. I think no, nothing more on that.
Okay.
It's all good, but I think
Oh,
that
there's
was
one
it
more.
then. Oh, is there? Okay.
Yep,
What's
sorry.
that?
It was hiding down
I,
here at the
I had a whole
bottom.
bunch of them.
I
Uh,
know. This is so fun.
oh, here,
Okay.
just another. It's saying oh yeah, heptagram is what they call the seven-pointed star. And Aleister Crowley, he's he's he studied. He was somebody who studied all the metaphysical, everything that he could get his hands on, and
Mhm.
uh, sometimes some people say that he maybe went a little too far, or maybe he didn't. Anyway, because of him, I think a lot of people have become frightened of talking with everything. But I don't think that was his intent. Um, I think his intent was always to be really to find out everything that he could. Um,
Yeah.
but he's often referred to as Mr. A. So within the within if you're talking about Aleister Crowley, rather than calling him Aleister Crowley, many people will call him Mr. A or
Mr. A.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah. A
That's
lot of
fun.
he started the Golden Dawn, and the tarot cards that we use today,
Oh,
are
wow.
a lot of that came from the teachings of the Golden Dawn.
Okay.
And he tried his best to take everything he could from all the different teachings and
Hmm.
learn everything that he could. And you have to respect someone who spends their entire life, you know, trying to know
Oh my
more.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's a lot of work and research and just
Mhm.
being open-minded and
Yeah. 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 And
sure.
I'm sure he made some mistakes along the way, as we all do. But
Yeah.
yeah, you got to respect a person who's going to really, really work at something.
Right. Especially in a world where anything different is evil and bad, to
Yes.
look into
Yes.
something knowing that
Yes.
you're gonna
Yes.
not have that much support, like that does take a lot of inner strength.
Yes. 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 And here it just says that the Cherokee people use the seven-pointed star to represent the seven clans of the Cherokee and the sacred number. And
Yeah.
we grew up with seven. Three and seven were the two super sacred numbers
Mhm.
for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like three is one of those numbers that people unknowingly is they're just drawn to it without knowing why, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Um, sorry, I'm just taking notes. This is just such a fun podcast for me today. I'm just loving it. Awesome. Okay. I think that was all we had.
I should do a whole class one day on just the seven-pointed star. It's so
You should.
fascinating.
You should. Oh my goodness. Yeah. You should do a class on it because yeah, you should see like all my notes I have on here of everything I want to go research because I feel like I know I our podcast first of all always whatever topics we talk about like however the direction goes is always exactly what I needed at that moment. And so yeah, anyway, I'm very interested to learn more about this and Yeah.
I
Yeah.
highly recommend people use the seven-pointed star, draw it out. It's hard to draw. Now, the Cherokee people don't like to draw it with the point at the top. They have the point a little bit off skewed just a little bit. And the reason for that, they say, is because nobody is no clan is greater than any other clan, you know.
Oh, yeah. So no one's at the
And
top.
and the same with the seven sisters, all of them are equal. Uh,
Hmm.
you know. But
Yeah.
I highly recommend you try to draw the seven-pointed star and use that as a portal.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to I'm gonna go back and rewatch how you started with like I think it was like Sunday, Monday, or whatever. I wanna
Yeah.
because I think that will help me learn how to do it too. It's like,
Yeah, start at the top Sunday and then come straight, kind of kitty corner over to Monday.
mhm,
Yeah, and Tuesday,
yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try this later. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
Yay. Awesome. Yeah, this is all perfect. Well, all of this is because one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was just intuition and then raising vibrations. I feel like one of the things that I'm finding, like, as I talk with people and for myself too, is the concept of intuition and following your intuition, following your gut. And the reason why I think this is something that we need to talk about right now, and this is perfect for us because I feel like you have a lot of knowledge about this, is I feel like a lot of women are kind of opening up right now and they're wanting to listen to their intuition, they're wanting to learn more. What I'm seeing is as I talk with people, so one conversation that I'm thinking of is I was talking to a lady and I was like, yeah, I'm like really starting to understand what intuition means. Um, and I'll go into that in just a second. But then she immediately went into like, oh, I know. I walked into a room and I just know those people didn't like me. I could feel it. And I was like, if that's the only time your intuition's talking to you, that's not your intuition. That is you being insecure and you need to work on that. And and that was what I'm finding is that when people do try to, you know, connect with me when we're talking about intuition, it's only really bad things, but there's so many messages and things coming to us. It's not just, bad things. And I do say with this person, she thinks everyone hates her. So that is why I was like, okay. And I didn't say to her, that's not your intuition. That's just you thinking everyone hates you. I did not say that. I just let it go. But I do think that that is something to kind of keep in mind is if you do think everybody hates you, I don't think that's your intuition. I think that is some trauma you need to process. But one of the things that I've been learning with our podcast guests and listening to you speak with people who are more on your level than I am, it has been very interesting to learn more about what intuition is and the fact that the messages that are coming to us are in my mind when and I think I've said this before when you were like talking about talking to stones and like doing things like that, to my mind, it really was like a stone is like, hey, Ashley, how are you doing today? Like whatever. But then when the first time it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, it's geometric patterns, it's sounds, it's colors, it's words, it's sometimes things that I don't think a human brain even comprehends yet unless it gets used to it, right? And so I didn't understand that. But as I've been learning more, and then I did do a session with Heidi Taylor and the Akashic records and things like that, and just like meeting with the spirit guide and realizing that even that communication level isn't necessarily what a human brain is used to communicating at, and that it is different. And so I think that is but to me, I mean, that was like a relief, right? That was really cool because then I was able to think, oh my gosh, my brain is not as messy as I think it is. My brain is processing a bunch of different things at the same time. And now that I understand that, it's actually kind of made me feel a little bit more confident and that like, oh, I'm not a psychological mess. I am just receiving things that I'm not used to necessarily interpreting. So, before I was just ignoring it, like, woo, I don't know what's going on in my head, but that's crazy, Ashley. Well, no, it isn't. It's messages and it's receiving things. And now that I'm like more open to it and I understand it a little bit more, it is very empowering. Um, anyway, so yeah, I wanted to get your take on that, on my lessons that I've been learning. Like, you are, I would say, like master level up here, and you're listening to me talk about, my, I don't know, my segue into this, or anyway. Yeah, what is your take on all that, and what would you say?
Wow, I'm so glad you're really looking into intuition. That's part of the how we take in our information.
Mhm.
And you're so lucky you have very, very, very high intuition. That's your first thing is your knowingness. You get that first. Uh,
Mhm.
and just like this girl that you met, maybe she does get it first, and then she probably has feelings that comes in second. That's her second way of getting information in. And I, people who have intuition first, they've got it the hardest, I think. I really do think they have it the hardest because if especially with the thing that comes after that, like so that their intuition is first, and you guys you have feelings second, it can be overwhelming the feeling. And so, like this girl, she she knows that somebody doesn't like her in the room. She just knows it as soon as she walks into the room. Well, she can because she has feelings second. Her feelings can take over, and she can be lost in her feelings. And then
Mm.
her third way of taking in information might be audient. And so right away she's got to spit out this horrible thing that she's feeling. She's got to say that icky thing.
Oh,
She can't
yeah.
help it.
Okay. Okay.
She
No,
she
you
just
just
can't help it.
described her perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can't help it. And
Okay.
her last way of, or not last, but her next way of taking in information is visual. And I feel bad for people who have intuition first, but I also I envy them because a person who has intuition first, they really do know everything. She really does know that people don't like her when she walks into
Mhm.
the room. They really don't. She's right.
Yeah.
um, and her feelings pick up on that. And so I would say that for someone who has that is to open up the other channels, open up uh, her visual sense, maybe learn to focus on something else, get her mind to focus, literally, truly focus on
Yeah.
something else. Try to find something in the room to look at that's beautiful. When you
Mhm.
walk into a room and you're a high intuitive feeler, and you don't have it goes beyond feeling. They don't like you,
Mhm.
or someone
Mhm.
doesn't like it. You know it as fast as you can blink your eye. You know it. Um, and you don't want to become uh, uh, taken off guard from that, or
Yeah.
distracted. You're trying to come in there and be who you are. And you've created your circle, you've created your power and everything, but for some reason you just lost it. you
Okay.
know, because some people you can just lose it.
Mhm.
You think
Yeah.
you're all,
Oh, yeah.
you've got all your little trinkets on, everything, you're
Mhm.
prepared, and you get in, you lose it. Well, the quick a quick way to get it back is, rather than using your intuition or your feeling to bring you back to center, bring you back to who you are, is to use your other gift orders, your other way of, and so that would be um, audient. If you could say out loud something nice, force yourself to say something nice if you can.
Yeah.
Isn't this beautiful? Or, try to find something you can look at.
Hmm.
Intuitive feelers don't usually like to look at anything. Make yourself look at something and comment
Okay.
on how something looks. It's always good to
Yeah.
say, "Oh, you look beautiful today," or something like that. And of course, you've not even looked at it really, but get yourself uh,
Right.
to
Right.
open
Oh,
up.
I love that. Yeah.
I can always tell when I go into a group of people. I can tell what their gift orders are, how they interact with the information that comes in from the other side. I can
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
tell.
Oh, that is
and
fascinating. Yeah, that is so cool.
and all the
I love that.
intuitives are the ones that fall apart first.
Yeah.
I because they're
And
they're so doggone
yeah.
smart, and they
Yeah.
really do know. They really do
Right.
know. They can
Right.
read the room instantly. They really do know.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but it's the other
Yeah.
it's the other gift orders that will the other way that we take in information that will save them
Hmm.
from falling
Yeah.
apart.
Yes. Yeah. And that is fascinating to think about too, because I have a family member who's very intuitive, and she and I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like she reads your subconscious feelings. So like let's say you have something you're just worried about, but you kind of push it down because you're going to go out and you're going to have fun, you're going to ignore it and whatever. She still reads that underlying thing that you're trying to hide to have a good time. And it's gotten to the point where I'm like, don't ask me about that because I'm literally trying to have fun right now. I don't want to talk about this thing that I just swallowed down that I'll deal with later at appropriate times or whatever. But yeah, that is fascinating. Yeah, and I didn't think about this is why I love talking to you about the fact that how we interpret things, in what order determines how we react and how we have to process.
Right.
And that was one of the things when I was talking to Heidi. She's like, you need to figure out where you stand, where you are on all these scales and all these things, right? Because that's going to teach you, what you need to know. Which, yeah, you just showed me that is what I need to know. Um, and I think too, I forget when I walk into a room and I know someone hates me, I've gotten to the point where it's not my problem anymore, if that makes sense, where I'm just like, those are your feelings. And I need
You've
to,
used, yeah, you've used your intuition to help you with that. That's using the intuition.
okay.
It's not your, when you say it's not your problem, that's an intuition power.
Oh, oh, okay. Yeah.
And so that's very, very good. If you can, well, that's not my problem, and that's what my husband, he's first intuitive like you and second feeler like you. And he's not bothered by anybody. He walks into well, he doesn't like walking into places where there's a lot of dead people, like, or not, I mean,
Yeah.
about to die people, like in a hospital. He knows
Oh, okay.
he can feel all these, so he doesn't like to go into those places. So he does have places he doesn't like to go to.
Hmm.
But if he walks into where there's a lot of people, um, he'll well, that's them, you
Hmm.
know. It,
Yeah.
that's that he has that way of understanding that it's not him. So his knowingness about the person is he uses that intuition to shut that down so it doesn't affect him, and then he can remain himself.
Ah, okay. Nice. Yeah. Okay. And I never thought about it that way, but yeah, that's probably what I'm doing too then, because yeah, I'm just kind of assess it. It's not my problem. It's not something I need to address with them. Like that's just their thing and then move
And then
on.
the other thing, of course, that he does is he'll say thank you. So if somebody does approach him and say something, I don't care what it is, even if it's just, oh, it's a beautiful day out. Thank you. He'll say thank you.
Thank you.
Or if they criticize something, he'll say thank you. And that just it
Yeah.
stops at that. So he uses that to help him with
Mhm.
that. He's very
Yeah.
good at that.
Yeah. Yeah,
See,
he
for
is.
me, my intuition level is my last. And
Mm,
so I'm not very smart. There's a lot of things I'm not very smart about. I can't remember the words to songs. People who have high intuition, they can remember things. They remember words to songs. They remember titles to things. They remember people's names. They remember things. And mine is I'm so much half in this world, half in another world,
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
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 So
Those are
I'm not
smaller
really,
details
yeah,
for
I'm
you.
not really bothered by intuition as much. Although when I get a knowing, it's quite startling for me. So
Oh,
I can appreciate what you must feel on a regular
yeah.
basis, or with your knowingness, you know it. And you
Yeah.
can't explain how you know it. That's how you know that it's an intuition, is because if somebody asks, how do you know? You have no way of explaining
Right.
it.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I had to work on is that it's okay if I can't explain it. And so I think, like as a kid, people want to know, well, why do you think that? Why do you say that? And you don't know. You don't know how to even explain something like that. So I've just had to come, yeah, I just say, I don't know. I don't know, but I know it's the truth. And luckily, my husband, he does accept that as an answer now that he's gotten to know me more. And he has seen things played out exactly how I said it was going to play out. So now he's like, okay, I'll trust
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how it comes in, like so, if a person is intuitive first and then audience second, now you're feeling second, but if they're audience second, they're constantly saying things out loud, and it's usually right. They're very, very smart, and they're saying things all the time. They their words are accurate,
Hmm.
and the problem is that they don't have a way to keep them from saying things when they
Hmm.
shouldn't say something.
Hmm.
And so we have people in our lives that are like that, and it can be very irritating to be around them.
Hmm. Yeah, because they
But
can't
they're
stop it.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're right.
Right.
If they say something, they don't know how they know it either, but they're just spewing it. They're just saying it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I do think it is important. I did not understand this until our most recent conversations with the podcast and then today, but it is very important to know where you kind of stand on all those, or like, like even what you're saying, what your order is, because you're right. That is exactly how you interact with other people. It's how you take in information,
Hmm.
and um, and it's why we're all different.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm. And you
Which
can
is,
tell when children are little, you can tell what their gift orders are, how they take in the information. It's kind of cute. They reach this one stage where uh, all they say is, "I know, I know, I know."
yeah.
You try to tell them something, "I know, I know,"
Mhm. Yeah.
and they're going through that phase where they're getting familiar with the knowing that comes
Hmm.
in.
Hmm.
Each year as they're growing up, they go through a phase of picking up on feelings when they're little. You know how they cry all the time when they're little. Everything they touch, they're always putting things in their mouth. They're going through the feeling stage. And they're become, do I want this? Is this how I want to favor? Is this going to be my favorite way of taking in information? So they're eating everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything is physical. But if for some reason they're exposed to something they don't like or whatever, they might be shutting down that feeling stage. They might
Mm-hmm.
not have a big of a, um, you know, a favorite. That won't be their favorite. Like
Hmm.
me, my feeling is second to the last, you know, uh, and, I'm not interested in how something feels. And I don't have that worry about it hitting my stomach and my gut feelings. I don't get that. I mean, I can now. I've developed it, but that's
Yeah.
not been my way. I see it.
Hmm.
I'll see what the problem is. And when I remember when I was little, I remember developing my seeing without knowing that's what I was doing, is I was developing my seeing because I would I would take a very long time to watch things. If I saw a being come
Oh,
through, as they would come through the ceiling or come in the room or whatever. And also my audience, I always wanted to know what they had to say. So I was very, it was first visual for me and second audience. I wanted to know what they said. I didn't want, I didn't want to kind of know, because my mom would be asking me later, you know,
yeah.
to report, you know,
Right. Right.
and so I had to pay attention. So I really, without realizing it, I was developing my visual and my
Oh,
hearing.
wow.
But I
Yeah.
heard inside my body. I heard through a vibration. I didn't hear through a sound. Sometimes it's a sound, not that often, but
Mhm.
it felt like a communication that comes through in a sound.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say most of mine are that way too. I very rarely have heard like something outside, like a voice or whatever talking to me. I have a few times, but not that. Yeah, most of it is like inside of me. Of like it's almost like this is like what I would call newbie speak, since I'm more newer to this, but it's almost just like something that I know is the truth that didn't come from me, but it's just like it's just there now and I have to do something with it. So yeah,
Yeah.
which I have been, which was part of me always assuming I just had a messy brain. I mean, I literally thought I was just talking to myself all day long, that I was just saying weird things to myself. Like, why would I even think of this or whatever, you know? But then now that I've started to like document them and write them down, and I'm seeing patterns of like, oh, this is literally growth for me. I mean, like directions on what I'm supposed to do to manage this and live with this. And yeah, I'm kind of bummed that I wasn't doing that before, that I was just always assuming that I just had a very messy brain. But understanding that our brains are collecting so much more information than we even know has helped me to just be more open-minded in receiving it and then trying to interpret it. Because some of it, I mean, some of it I still don't know. Like I will literally just get patterns, like geometric patterns, and I don't know. I couldn't draw it for you when it was done, but it's like it just hits me and then it's done. I still don't know what it is, but I don't know.
Well, years ago, when I would get a pattern or something like that, when I would see things like that, I learned to step inside of it. So I would, if I
Oh,
saw something, I would just go into it. And they were just like I was saying that the seven-pointed star is a portal. So for
yeah.
me, that was how I would learn. If I would, if a pattern came in front of me, I know there's certain beings out there that just love patterns, and they this, they can tell a huge story of things that you need to know through one symbol
Mhm.
or sigil or whatever it's called, so and anyway, so I'd learned that at first what I would do is I would put my hand into it,
Okay.
and if it felt right that I should go further with it, I would get it in a I would see the pattern begin to change into something else. and
Oh,
and
okay.
so then I knew that that was the thing to do. Then I would just let myself go into it. I would just
Okay.
go into the pattern, whatever it was, and then it was usually pretty much every time it was a portal into information into another place. And that's how I read the Akashic records or anything, as if I would see the symbols or whatever were on the page, I would literally make myself fall into them. I would just go down
Okay.
into them, and it would take me to the information that I needed or the place that I needed. And sometimes I'd go, and I still do this today. I, go to a place, and you'd be surprised what the universe is trying to teach us things all the
Mhm.
time, and you know it could be just something that they're just wanting you to know that you're loved and that you're that
Yeah.
important.
Right.
and
Right.
and
And I
and
think, yeah,
this is how they know how to communicate. And
yeah.
so it's something so simple and
Mhm.
powerful.
Right. And I think we kind of forget that it can be simple but
Mhm.
powerful. You know, it doesn't always have to be like, and then I learned that like this and that, like, no, sometimes it is just a reminder
Yeah,
of
yeah.
almost like, and I feel like that with the crystal quartz, it's almost like a reminder of this is the vibration you're probably seeking or that you want. Like this is what it feels like,
Hmm.
that love and that joy centered,
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like okay, now that I know what it feels like, I know what I'm seeking out. And I know that you've talked about like the white light and the joy and all the things. It's like
Yeah.
once you feel that, you won't forget that that's what it is that that you're seeking, or that, is a safe, very safe space. Um, and I
And
think, go ahead.
go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, and I before I came to this time on the
Mhm.
planet, I came from the dark. I mean, I came
Mhm.
from the pit. I came from
Yeah.
not a good place. And
Mhm.
so I'm very familiar with both, and I'm very comfortable in both, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
It totally wipes away your fear when, the shadow people with the, the ickiness, and,
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, hi, how you doing? It's like,
How about you guys again?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I think too, like, one of the things that I've learned too is those people, they don't scare me either.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I first thought they didn't scare me because maybe there was something, bad in me. But then it was like, no, I don't know. It's like I'm separate from them. I see them and that's it. Like I'm not going to let them affect me or anything. But yeah, it's okay to see them. You're not mean
Hmm.
or evil if you do.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah, I love that. And I think too, and I think I've said this before in a podcast, is And I think some of this too is just part of the like me not wanting any form of like religion or rules around anything, which is why I call myself a little chaos agent because I don't want the rules, but secretly I think I do, but I just don't want like those outside icky rules. But I remember, like if let's say I was like, oh, I saw a cardinal today, and someone would be like, oh, that could be a sign for something, or something. And I remember, previous Ashley thinking, not everything's a freaking sign, or not everything is a message or whatever. And I would get so angry at that. But like as I've grown, I think if I can hear all the time, if I can see whenever my eyes are open, why can't other messages always just be filtering through too? Like but once I kind of removed that whole religious aspect of it and then thought of myself as just a body receiving information, why can't that be true? Why can't there be little things coming in literally all the time to help me? So that has been like one of the other things that I've been starting to understand more as I go along in my
You
journey
know,
of
this goes back to how we take our information in. For people who are first visual and second feeling, they love order, and they love, this is how you do it. This is the only way to do it. So they would love to belong to a religious something or other, or a sect or a cult or something,
yeah,
because they see the order and they feel it. And they're the perfect little students in school. They're the ones who uh, color perfectly on the color crayon pages, and they're very comfortable with it, and they can't understand why someone doesn't, why would you draw outside the line? Can't you see the line? you know and uh the, like, I think school system was built for people who are first visual, second feeler,
mm-hmm.
and they're the ones who will say, they've read in a book somewhere or something, that the hawk means this. Well, for them, they see the hawk, and they've see what it's supposed to do, and those that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
They're stuck with that, and that's where, uh, if they could open up their intuition, intuition, and their audience side of them, they might be able to be talked into another way also, and another way of
yeah.
knowing. And that's where I say it. When I walk around with other people, I can tell right away what their way they take their information in, by how they approach everything.
Mhm.
The goal, of
Yeah,
course, is to get all of our ways of taking in information to be more powerful, instead of always just using certain ones. But yeah,
right.
when you're around someone who says this is the way it has to be, you have to use it this way, you're dealing with a visual feeler. That's
Yeah.
just how they are. You know,
Yep.
uh, they get
Yes.
really
And so this is,
emotional about it.
yeah, yeah.
How
And
could you not
this,
do this?
like, what are you doing? Right. And so me not following that same rule probably does kind of send them into an orbit because
Yes,
that's the
yes,
structure. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes. Whereas them having the structure is what sends me into an orbit because I'm like,
Yes,
no.
yes. And so when you're talking with someone who then is like that, then you know that they're a visual feeler. So you can come back with them with words. The first word maybe, I see what you're saying,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and I feel in many ways you're right. So you're talking to their
Mhm.
first two things, and
Mhm.
it'll help them. Uh, and thank you for pointing that out.
Yes. Yes.
Or whatever. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
there is, as there is more, trying to get them to come into the intuitive, as there is more.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
like you to
Oh my gosh.
maybe think, you might, can I invite you? Invite you might be a word to help with their audience, can I invite
Mhm.
you to think about a new way, another thing? Some people over here say this, and
Yeah.
expand them out a little bit, that you're helping them to raise their intuition and helping them to
Mhm.
raise their audience, rather than be so locked in on their visual and their feeling.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. I love that. Yeah, you're such a good just your teaching. I love it. I love our podcast.
Yeah, it's really helped me. Al and I went to a class about this. in 1979. And ever since, I've given several oodles of
Mhm.
classes on this. It's been just eye-opening for
Mhm.
people. And I do know that when if I'm going to hear something where it's an actual voice coming through, uh, for an actual voice to come through from the other side, like when they say no or something like that, I know it's really, really they've come through a lot of heavy
Mm.
frequency, and
Yeah,
they've lowered themselves down to our frequency come this low, so it must be pretty important. I had better pay attention.
yeah, yeah. I wonder if that's why it's just a few words, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
it's never
yeah,
like a
it's
big
very
long
hard.
paragraph. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's hard for them to come down this low. We're so low. It's like if you're
okay.
trying to talk to someone who's at the bottom of the swimming pool and
Yeah.
you're above the swimming pool,
Yeah.
maybe even
Yeah.
on that the oh, I forget what you call it, what you jump in, but anyway,
Oh, the high dive or the diving board.
yeah, yeah, let's go with a high dive, even better.
Yeah.
So you're way up there, and you're trying to tell the person who's way at the bottom, something. It's
Yeah.
they can hardly tell that you're even up there.
Right. Right. Oh my goodness. I never thought about that.
So you have
Yeah.
to raise yourself. You have to come up to the top of the water,
Mhm.
at least to the top of the water, and maybe peek your head out of the top, so you're
Yeah.
above.
Yep. Oh my gosh, you just reminded me. I was doing a meditation. I can't remember what it was. And the like voice or information I was getting said, "Hey, you just climbed up farther in the hamster cage. Because you remember the
Yes,
hamster
yes,
cage?"
yes,
And I was like, "Oh, it's a Casie reference that I got."
yes,
But yeah, it was, I mean, it's been the perfect visual for me. Evidently,
yeah,
because it's yeah, still coming up for me. But yeah, I like the swimming pool one too. I think that's been helpful. Yeah. Oh, I love this. Okay. One thing I was going to read through on so talking about vibrations, thank you for the segue, is on TikTok there is an account, it's called Divinely Guided, but they had 5 energetic habits. And it said to activate your quantum field, but I thought too, like to, change your energy up. So I thought these were good. I was going to read these out loud and see they might help other people as well. I'm going to try them. So, one of them was brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. It might
yes.
sound silly, but it activates dormant brain regions, disrupts mental autopilot, and opens the door to new energetic possibilities. And so it's talking about neuroplasty, which is the subconscious pattern breaking and energy alignment that's in your brain.
Yeah,
And
it's in
so
the
it,
amygdala actually. And so when the neurons are coming down the amygdala, and you're going in a pattern, you find yourself in a loop. That's one of the ways to get out of the loop because all your when you get hooked up on those wires and stuff and they're watching you in real time, they have found that if you did do something like that, use a non-dominant hand to do something, that a different part of the brain, which is the top part of the brain, where it's the mechanical, where you're trying to get your muscles to work in a new way, that part of the brain will light up, and that is when you're out of the loop of the amygdala, going
okay,
constantly over and over again, and you're thinking and everything. I
yeah,
have people walk
yes,
backwards, take steps backwards, pick up
yep,
a cup of coffee with your non-dominant hand and make sure that it's full, 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 so that you have to be really
oh,
careful when you pick it up.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes, yeah, this is perfect. Give yourself a new name for the day in your mind. So you can call yourself abundant, wise, powerful creator. Every time you think or speak to yourself, use that name. This is a playful glitch that bypasses the ego and speaks directly to yourself.
Isn't that
So I love,
beautiful?
yes, I loved that one.
And that's
Um,
awakening the audient part. So if a
oh,
person is low in audient, to
mhm,
use words, that's where words can come in handy, and a chant. I sing my Wia
yeah,
Heya song. So
yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes. Okay, speak to your reflection, not to convince yourself about anything, but just to remind yourself of who you truly are. This daily habit rewires your self-image at the subconscious level. And
that's
yeah,
your
I do.
visual.
Yep, that's your visual. Oh, I just love this. Number four, say thank you every time something bothers you. Yes, even if it feels absurd. Gratitude shifts your frequency instantly and interrupts repetitive thought loops.
And that's your how you feel about something.
Yep. Number five is sleep with clear intention. Set it in your mind, then let it go. Your subconscious keeps working while you dream, and right there is where the miracles start to sneak in.
And your intentions is your intuitiveness, is your
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Oh, I love how all this tied together.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
those are
everybody already uses these things,
yes.
but they don't realize
Wow.
how, well, I think they do realize how important they are. Yeah.
We're just not connecting all the dots yet of how it
Yes.
all goes together.
Simplifying
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah, this has been so wonderful. Are there any final thoughts as we wrap up about just intuition or anything? Because I feel like this is one thing that I really love about talking to you. You are a very gentle teacher, and so I can come at you with, whatever thoughts I have, and you guide me, which I always appreciate. You guide me into, back onto where I'm supposed to be going. So is there anything else, like just in closing, that you would want to, and no pressure if you don't have anything, but yeah, that you would just want to remind me or anyone else listening on just intuition and how we're, I don't know,
Well,
experiencing it.
if you are someone like you or like my husband who is high intuition, that means you're really smart. Okay. People high intuition are really smart. And uh that's rough. I mean, you've got to give yourself a little, be gentle with yourself because if your first way that you take in information is this knowingness that just comes, you can't explain it. It comes quick as a blink of an eye or faster than that. You have to give yourself some leeway because that is the most difficult and yet it's the most wonderful of all of them. That is the best one to have, but it is the most powerful. And
Mhm.
so I would say to be extremely gentle with yourself. Um, and realize that when you're around other people and you already figured this out, you already know what's going on. You just instantly know, should I be here? Should I be here? Your thoughts are so fast. Just be really gentle on yourself and know that you're unique. Not everybody's like that. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to be harder for you. It's going to be
yeah,
harder for you.
yeah,
You could during that time, uh, uh, rather like for you, it's feeling next. Like I said, do something that's visual. Try to focus on something that's pretty. If you've got some kind of jewelry on, look at actually get your brain to look at something else.
yeah.
Try to click in your visual center if you can. Um,
hmm
just to
Okay.
shut down all this knowing that you have because you are so smart. Nobody has to tell you anything. You really do know.
Okay.
Uh, you really do know, and
Yeah,
it's got to be extremely frustrating for a person to be
yeah,
first intuitive. It's got to be very
yeah,
hard.
yeah. Okay. Oh, that's so helpful. Thank you. Oh yeah, I need a class on the seven star. I need a class on the intuitions. Like I need all
I
these
love those.
classes.
I love this stuff. I just love it, and
Yeah,
it's so
this has been
helpful.
awesome. Yes, so helpful. So, yay. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Casie, for teaching us and taking all of the thoughts that I spew out on the podcast and rearranging them and putting them into an order that helps all of us learn. I appreciate it so much, and
Well, I
I love it.
appreciate you. I appreciate
Yeah,
you very, very much.
thank you. Awesome. Okay, everybody. Um, have a good rest of the week and listen to your intuition.
Bye.
Bye.